We'll be considering parenting styles. Experts say that there are four major parenting styles: the authoritarian, the authoritative, the permissive, and the uninvolved or neglectful parenting styles. Now, when we say parenting styles, what we simply means is the way you guide your children, the way you discipline, the way you interact with them, basically. Now, we are all different people, we all have different characters. As such, we all cannot raise our children the same way. So, I'll be explaining this parenting style with this instance. Let's take, for instance, your neighbor parked his car outside and your child went outside with the other kids, and they decided to start playing football in the compound. You know, children will always be children, and one of them just hit the ball and it hit the windscreen and broke the windscreen. Now, here is how an authoritarian parent will behave. The neighbor comes to report to him that, your child has broken my windscreen. The authoritarian parent will not even ask the child what happens. He just calls the child, and if it's the parent that is very quick to giving slaps, rains several slaps on the child, punishes the child, gives the child, withdraw a lot of privileges without even asking the child. Reason being that he has left a standing order, strict rule. I don't want to see you playing with the neighbor's children. I don't want to see you outside. Once you come back from school, face your book, clean the house, and do these. So they always leave very strict rules. They always have high expectations and standards for their children, and then for every misbehavior there are consequences. They don't expect feedbacks or explanation from their children. They just dish instructions, and consequences follow whenever the children break the rules. Number two, the authoritarian parents. They come to tell him that, okay, your son has done this or your child has done this. The first thing he does, because he has gone over these things with the children, there's this element of friendship. They've talked, they've discussed, they've set rules. He calls the child and he will ask, Shola, Nkechi, Maria, what happened? And the child is able to explain. It wasn't just me, it was me and the neighbor's children. We were playing. Unfortunately, this person played the ball and he hit the windscreen, he hit the side mirror, or it was me, it was this and all of that. And then the mother said, or the authoritative parent said, what did I tell you about this instance? I've told you, you don't play football in the compound. If you want to play football, you go to the field, or I take you to the field. I've told you, you don't come out when your parents are not around. If you want to play, you wait for me to come out. So there's always discussions, and then the parents say, because of that, you will face this particular consequences. Now the child knows that, okay, I'm facing this because I'm disobedient, and my parents is not doing this because they don't love me. He still knows that, okay, my parents love me, I have misbehaved, and I must face these punishments. The permissive parents, the neighbor comes and then he's like, Papa and Kechi, so because you bought car, our children should not play again. You too, why did you park your car there? Always permitting their children's misbehaviors. They are the ones that will go to school to go and fight on behalf of their children. They are the ones that the school will even report, and they will say, I know my child can never do that, and then he's telling the neighbor, so because you bought car now, our children should not play again. You too, why did you park your car there? Next time, park it in this place. Next time when you see the children, you to correct them. Always permitting their children, no consequences. They always believe that the children will learn when they grow up, forgetting that you can only bend a fish when it is wet. Once it is dry, you try to bend it, it will break. Once the child has grown, you can really not correct. You train children, you don't train adults. You train children to grow up to become responsible adults. And then the neglectful or uninvolved parents. Most times, a lot of parents that fall into this category, it is not intentional. It's probably sometimes they have health issues, sometimes they are overwhelmed by personal challenges and all of that, and then most times they are just too busy chasing money. So the neighbor comes and says, your child did this, your child has broken my car, and all of that and all of that, and he says, sir, please, I'm very busy, we'll talk about it later. Please, we'll talk about it later. I have a deadline to meet. Or he's just not even interested, and the parent just come and just says, just sorry, and he's not even talking to the child. He's not even trying to correct the child. There are no consequences and all of that. Now, as parents, there's nobody can claim to be a perfect parent, because really none of us came from heaven with parenting manual, but the desire to get information, the desire to get knowledge makes all the difference. Experts will say that the authoritative parenting style, which is the democratic parenting style, happens to be one of the best that they encourage us parents to inculcate. And it is really very easy. We can get information about this kind of parenting style online. It is simply parenting style that involves you putting the child's feelings into consideration. It is a parenting style that involves an element of friendship. It is a parenting style where you have laid the rules and you set standards, yes, but they are not unrealistic. And whatever you do, you are considerate of the child's mental well-being, you're considerate of the child's happiness at the end of the day.